Okay, so somewhere in your math career, probably in elementary school, maybe around the third or fourth grade, maybe fourth grade, you learned a process called long division. And you probably learned it with integers or whole numbers. And I'm going to review that with you, little happy memories from your past. And then we're going to apply it to polynomials. But the concepts are there. So I want to go over those. So when we're given a problem like 2,456 divided by 23, the 23 is called the divisor. And that's what you're dividing by. So I'm going to put the 23 there, and then I'm going to make the little division house. I forget what that's called, but it has a name. And we're going to divide into 2,456. So the divisor is 23, what you're dividing by. And the divisor, or the dividend, in this case, is 2,456, what you're dividing into. And then the answer is the quotient, and that's what we're going to find out. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and go through this division process. So when we do this, we look at the 23, the divisor, and we don't look at the whole number. We just look at the first two numbers, or the numbers that we need for the 23 to go into. It's got to be bigger than 23, right? 24 is bigger than 23. Okay, so 23 goes into 24 one time. And then you multiply 1 times 23. And then you have to subtract. So that's, you don't have to write the subtraction sign, but well, when we do them with polynomials, it'll be helpful. But anyway, you subtract, and in this case, we get 1. And then you bring down the next number, right? So hopefully this is, like I said, bringing back happy memories. Now, we want to say, well, how many times does 23 go into 15? Well, it doesn't. It's too small. So we're going to put a 0 there because we need a placeholder, right? And then we're going to bring down the next number. Okay, and so we're going to say 23 into 156. I think it's going to go 6 times. And then you're going to multiply 6 times 23, which is 18, carry the 1, 12, 13. And then you're going to subtract. And so you get 8. So you're like borrowing old math there. 3 from 4 is 1. You have a remainder of 18. Now that remainder has to be smaller than the divisor, but 18 is less than 23, so we're good. Now, depending on where you were at in your math career, they may have let you say, okay, the answer is 106, remainder. Sometimes they use a capital R, sometimes they use a lowercase r, 18. And some of our textbooks, when we're doing polynomial division, actually let you do that. The remainder is a big part of what we're going to be doing with some theorems and stuff, but that's okay. Another way you may have been taught, though, would be to put 106 and then 18 over the divisor, right, like a fraction. So this is what we're going to see. This is what we're going to do, something like that. Now, you might say, well, what about, adding the decimal and the zeros and continuing and getting a decimal? We're not going to do that, okay? So we're going to be looking at answers kind of in that form. So our answer in this case is 106. The remainder is 18, or it's 106 and 18/23. Okay, so that's a review of long division. The division algorithm says, let me back up a little bit. If you take, you want to check this. If you take the quotient, so your answer, times, I'll just use a dot, times the divisor, plus the remainder, it's going to equal the dividend. Okay, so in our case, if I take, now you have to split up, you know, the answer here, like into a remainder part and the quotient part, like the integer part. So it's 106 times 23 was the divisor, plus the 18. That has to equal the 2,000, oh, is it 2,456? Okay. So we can check that. What's 106 times 23? We're getting a lot of old school math here. So I get 8, 3, 4, 2. So I get 2, 4, 3, 8 plus 18. Yeah, it's 2,456. So this checks, okay? All right, we're going to revisit the division algorithm later on in this section.